Well, as we're having the final cold snap, tonight's Rolleston Eats, we're going to make something a little bit wintry. We're going to go with a Venison Wellington on a bed of red cabbage.
Why venison?
Because it's fantastic.
But why not a beef Wellington?
Because it's not fantastic.
Okay.
So tune in, we're about to make some lovely winter meal in spring in Wellington because it's 6 degrees and feels like 2. Cheers. So friend, Venison Wellington on a bed of red cabbage. We're going to need to cook the red cabbage 90 minutes out from the Venison Wellington. Take us through the ingredients.
Okay, so what you'll need is a couple of apples, an orange, there's some cinnamon quills, some bacon, some red wine, some brown sugar back there, a red cabbage obviously, and some salt and pepper.
Fantastic. We'll go through the prep and then we'll show everybody how it looks being cooked.
Sounds good. So Glenn, you've done all the prep, why don't you show us what you've done?
Okay, so for the red cabbage, we've got the sliced red cabbage, we've got some bacon lardons there, we've got the cinnamon sticks ready to go, we've got the apple, we've got the zest, we've got the brown sugar. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer it through the pot. Nice big pot here, and we're going to layer it. So we get a little bit of red cabbage, get it on the bottom there, we get a little bit of bacon, we just kind of sprinkle that around, not all of it, because remember we're layering, get a little bit of zest. Just drop a little bit of zest in there, a little bit of apple, a little bit of brown sugar, and then we're going to repeat that till we've finished with all the ingredients.
Okay, we'll come back to you when you've done that.
Okay, so we're doing the last layer now of the red cabbage. We get the last of the sliced red cabbage, we put that over the top generously. We finish that off with the last of the bacon. Is it that? Nice. And we've given that a good crispy feel too, that good bacon lardons. Don't be shy. Get a little bit of crisp in there. We've got the last of the zest in. Last of the apple. A couple of cinnamon sticks. A little bit of sugar on the top there. And then just generously with some red wine. Basically now we're going to switch that on, put a lid on it, cover it, and let it go for 90 minutes. So we're going to start the Venison Wellington in about 45 minutes.
Time for a wine.
Time for a wine.
Right, these are the ingredients you'll need for your Venison Wellington. So obviously you've got some venison, some parsley, there's some flaky puff pastry and some mushrooms. These are shallots, they're banana shallots. Get those, not the little ones, because they're a nightmare to peel.
And of course some salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, of course.
Excellent. So we'll go through the prep of that shortly.
Yes.
Wine time.
Again. Wow.
Friends, kitchen tip.
So I've only used half of the parsley bunch that I needed. So here's a wee tip. If you want to keep parsley fresh, put it in a glass and stick it in the fridge. And I didn't use the stalks, so you can just put those in a plastic bag and use them for stock.
Friends, kitchen tips. So we're prepping the Venison Wellington now. Key parts to the Venison Wellington is what's called the duxelle. It sits between the fillet and the pastry. So it is finely diced mushrooms, finely diced parsley, and finely diced shallots with oil and salt and pepper. So we'll go through and we'll prep that now. So we're trucking along with our meal. Do a quick check on the cabbage. As you can see, simmering away, everything kind of settling in there. So,
oh, you've just fogged up the lens.
Oh, well, we'll refocus then. So, we've got some nice hot oil there. We're going to do the duxelle. We get the shallots in. We'll sweat those for a little bit. So we've got the shallots, they've sweated nicely. Now we bring in the slicely diced mushrooms, because we call them doshed mushrooms, because that'll be all the wine and beersies. We bring that up and we'll bring a little bit more heat on there and we bring that together. And the parsley's next. So we've got the mushrooms and the shallots working nicely together. The mushrooms are sweating, that's good. And then we're going to bring the parsley in. And so that's what makes our duxelle. We'll season accordingly, a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, and we'll taste. But this is what brings together the very nice duxelle.
How fine are those chopped?
Very, very fine. Don't be shy. If you don't think it's fine enough, go some more. As you can see, very nice and fine, and that really lets the mushrooms sweat very quickly. There's no waiting around there, and so we just let that come together.
Okay, so our duxelle is ready now. A really important part of the process is that you've got to allow that to cool, because if you put the hot duxelle onto the pastry is going to cook.
And we don't want that.
No, not straight away anyway.
So with about 10-15 minutes before we start on the venison and get the pastry ready, and of course the cabbage is only 30 minutes away, that'll give the duxelle plenty of time to cool down.
Fantastic.
So time to prep the venison, friend.
Yep, time to prep the meat. So we've taken it out of the plastic, and the first thing we need to do is just give it a pat so that it's dry. Okay, and you'll notice that on the meat here there's a piece of silver skin. Now if you don't remove that, your meat will curl up and look really ugly. So there's a really quick and easy way of doing this. You slide your knife underneath that and you lift and just cut through and take that off, and same the other way until it's all gone.
And just the last little bit there.
Yeah, the last little bit here. Now if we don't take that, there's no way that's ever going to cook, so we've got to get rid of that all. Okay, so now we've got a perfectly prepared piece of venison, and we need to... Okay, so now that we've got rid of that silver skin, we just need to put some salt and pepper onto our fillet, both sides, and then we're going to brown that off, and we'll be back with you in a minute doing just that.
Okay, so it's time to seal the venison. We're going to be sealing it into a nice pan here of butter and olive oil. We put the butter and the olive oil together to essentially stop the butter burning, but we get that nice flavour as well. So on the venison, what we need to do is after we've trimmed it and we've seasoned it, we want to fold it over, because that's how it's going to be inside the pastry. And we bring the venison over and we get it in there, and then we spin it around a few times and give it a good seal there. We're quite happy with that. We won't get everything all the time. And we get that, bring that nice piece of venison over here just to rest. And the next time we see that bad boy, we'll be wrapping it in some pastry. Okay, so we're letting water out of the sink there, and we're ready to take our lamb and garnish it for our roast. Is that right, Fran?
No, honey. We're doing a Venison Wellington.
Oh, we are too. That's right. Well, let's reset.
How much wine have you had?
Just some beersies. Okay, so it's time to build the Venison Wellington. So what we do is we bring the duxelle in that's been cooling. Remember, we want that nice and cool. We've laid a couple of sheets of the flaky pastry down into the pan here. Under the pan, we've got the olive oil and the flour. So instead of trying to make it and then put it into another pan, we're cheating, taking a little bit of a shortcut. Let's just make it in the pan. Gosh, that sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? So we'll just move that out there, and then we'll bring the Wellington, the venison over, because of course this is the Wellington. Here's the venison. Bringing that bad boy in there, look at that. We'll fold them over so we've got those folded pieces of ends, if you remember correctly. And now we'll start the build.
So are we ready?
Sorry, excuse me, just having a little beersy there. So because we've got a big Wellington here with a lot of duxelle, what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of pastry, just over the top, a little bit of a cheat here, a little bit of milk, where it counts on the pastry, a little bit of glue, if you will, and then we're going to do a bit of a fold. Of course, part of the equation is to making sure that everything is the right amount. We've got a little bit of excess here, just a tad of excess here. Trim that bad boy down, bring it in and over, folding like a paper aeroplane. Those of us that have been to quiz know what it's like. Vish, call out to you. It almost looks like the Vish 4000 from the our pub quizzes. Doing a little fold in there, bring that over, and then the final fold up and in. Get that fold working on there, hold it there for a second, make sure we get that nice pinch in the corner. Give it a little bit of glue and a little bit of brown. Get a nice crust on there. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go.
Do you need to poke some holes in the top to let some steam out?
Oh, yeah, good, cool. Okay. So poking a hole or two, get a little bit of steam out. Bringing it in, 180 on the oven. Voila! So it must be time for the big reveal, friend.
Well, I think it might be actually. It's starting to look pretty good. Pastry's looking cooked.
It's been in for just over 22, should be 18 to 22 minutes. Should we go for it?
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. How's it looking?
Looking like a Wellington should.
Okay, now I do want to note that there are mats underneath that, so we're not sitting on our expensive bench.
She's coming off beautifully.
Oh, that'll be that olive oil spray. Right.
The big reveal.
The big reveal. It's a bit warm. Oh, that's looking pretty perfect if you ask me.
That is looking spectacular. So, we'll dish it up, we'll cut it up, and we'll see you at the table. So, the springtime midwinter venison Wellington on a bed of red cabbage. Here it is. Thank you, Greg Thoreau from MasterChef UK for your inspiration on this one. It's my favourite meal to make. It takes a bit of effort, it takes a bit of time, but I hope we've simplified it in our few minutes. So, cheers.